Okay, I've got two screens to expose, one for each color. Now, I've got these screens coated with emulsion and I put them in a dark cabinet until I'm ready to use them. And so they're dry and ready to go. And I'm placing this on the exposure unit. Notice I center it and then I measure from the top how far my design is down so that when I put my other design on the other screen, I get them into close proximity of each other because I need to have them pretty close to line them up later. Now I'm going to close the top of my exposure unit. When I turn this on, it's going to do two things. It's going to turn on the light and it's going to turn on a vacuum that will suck it into place and the light that will expose it. There are different factors to consider when deciding on an exposure time. You'll notice mine was 27 seconds. But I base this on the type of positive that I have. I'm using vellum paper, and that's a little bit different than regular vellum, and that's different than a transparency. Also, the emulsion plays a part. Different emulsions have different exposure times. And then the third part is the exposure unit. Depending on how strong the light is and how many bulbs there are, that will be a factor in determining the time. So you'll just have to experiment with that. So here I've exposed it, and I'm pulling it up here, and I need to go wash this screen out. Now the washout process is pretty simple, but it can be important that you do it just right. Now this screen is still light sensitive, and so as I get it wet, it's not light sensitive anymore when it becomes wet. So I'm going to spray both sides here with a light spray, and I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. And I want to get both sides wet, but I want to spray it from the back side. This is the back side, not the inside of the frame. I want to spray it from the back side. But I like to get both sides wet to start the process of getting the emulsion soft enough to wash out. Now, where the light penetrated the vellum paper, it hardened that emulsion. And where the ink was, it blocked out that light and it kept the emulsion soft. Now you can see the emulsion starting to appear. And as I wash this a little bit more, that emulsion will be washed away. Now I should have kept the camera going because I didn't show you the emulsion actually being washed away. Right now it's getting lighter, but it's not washed away yet. And you'll know when it gets washed away because you'll be able to see the screen. So make sure you wash it out until you can see the screen and it's all the way cleared out, but don't go too long because you can wash some of the stencil out too. Now I've got to wash out my second screen, and this is the second color, and I'm going to do the same thing, get both sides wet, and wash out the soft emulsion, but not wash out the stencil part, the harder emulsion. So you got to be careful with that. You'll know when you have the soft emulsion washed out because you'll be able to see the screen.